All right, I'll get started. Obviously, tough loss on the road versus a divisional opponent, especially when it's a one-score game and we had three other opportunities to put points on the board. Anytime our field goal unit is out there, that's our mindset, that's our expectation. We're an extension of our offense, and we're always looking to put points on the board, and we're always looking to be 100% on that phase when it comes to our operation, our protection, and obviously putting the ball through the uprights. Unfortunately, we didn't get that done, and it's a tough loss for us. But it doesn't stop us as a team, as a special teams unit, as a field goal unit, and individually for myself or for Koo to get better this week. So we already had a great week of preparation. Our guys are excited and ready to get going, and it's a great opportunity, a great challenge to go on the road to play against a tough Denver Broncos special teams unit. So I'll open up to any questions.
Any thoughts on Coach Westhoff retiring? He had some blurry vision, and they were already gonna transition to Ben over there. Do you expect them to change much, or in a week? But
D-Led, I don't think at all. I think Coach Westhoff has done a great job. Coach Kawika has been the coordinator. Coach Westhoff has been a guy that's been helping him out a lot with a lot of things, and they do a great job with their special teams unit. My prayers and my condolences are with Coach Westhoff, and I hope, hopefully he feels better and has a speedy recovery, wherever that case may be. But he's been very impactful in the game of special teams. A guy that I worked with in Detroit, Leon Washington, who CP was tied with the kickoff returns, spoke so highly of him when he played during his time in New York playing for the Jets. So I think that unit, no matter what, Coach Kawika has been doing a great job. Westhoff he's been phenomenal in his years as a special teams coordinator. Recently when he was with the Saints a couple years ago, getting those guys rolling, and then now in Denver. It's going to be a great challenge. And even though he's not there with them this weekend and the rest of the season, he's still an impactful person in that building and for those special teams units.
And Koo was saying he had to watch the film after the game, but he thought they did a pull and shoot on the block kick. How did you all break down the block kick?
Well, I'll say at the end of the day, no matter what technique,
what's a pull and shoot?
A pull and shoot is when you pull a person and you shoot a person in the gap. It happens throughout the NFL,
Okay.
But at the end of the day, no matter what technique or operation or what type of teaching they do on the other side of the football, we have to be great dealing with our pad level, our footwork, and our execution, our details. So at the end of the day, we have to protect inside out as a field goal unit. That we want to, any penetration has to be from the widest part, which is off the edge. So we make sure we protect the A gap, B gap, C gap, D gap, and then anything that's free off the edge will be way outside off the wings. Like the guys like Storm and Charlie Warner, those guys that play the wing position. So we want to make sure we do a great job. In order to do that, we got to play with great pad level as an O-line front, all right? And then we have to make sure we're taking a great power step with our inside foot because we're protecting inside out. And then the last part is making sure that we're interlocked too, so we don't allow any gaps or any penetration, whether it's pre-snap with our alignment or post-snap with our footwork. So credit to New Orleans, they did a good job. Guy got good pad level under one of our guys, and they got their hands up. Those things happen, but it doesn't stop us from getting better and improving. Had a great meeting with the field goal unit yesterday. Those guys are eager to get back on the field. We had a great day of work on the field yesterday, and we'll hit another field goal session tomorrow.
Any personnel changes up there? Because I'm only asking because Coach Payton said, hey, we got to look, because they had a block too, and they were like, hey, maybe we got the wrong people in there. And do y'all have to look at the personnel up there?
Every week, D-Led, on all 6 phases, 7 phases if you want to include the hands team, we're always looking at our personnel, how can we optimize and maximize the personnel. The first thing I always look at, if there's anything that happens, I look at myself. I put ownership on myself when it comes to our preparation, our details, rather than, blaming a player. At the end of the day, that's on me. We always give guys reminders. Maybe there's an extra drill I could work to eliminate, that type of technique or whatever the case may be. There's little things I always look at, working at. And when you talk about the personnel, when I do look at personnel, Coach King and myself, we look at personnel. All right, does he have the tools to be successful? All of our guys that have been part of our field goal unit have been phenomenal. They've done a great job of protecting. So we don't allow one play to define the body of work that they've been doing throughout the whole season. So I don't get fixated on one rep. Now, if it's a common theme, like there's some teams that have common themes and it's a continual problem, yes, you do fix that. Or you either fix it with his technique, getting him better with his technique, or you find somebody that could do a better job or put that guy in a different position. So to answer your question, we always look at the personnel, but I think us as a field goal unit, we have a lot of good guys that play with good strength, good pad level, and it's all, at the end of the day, it's urgency with the details and being consistent.
And Coach Moore said he's not touching Koo's mechanics. He ain't getting into that. He's going to let him work through it. What's your stance, and does he have a kicking coach that he goes to?
You know, all of them do. They have kicking coaches, and then at the end of the day, I'm in the building. It's my job to make sure that he's doing things at a high level. Obviously, last week, that's not our standard, and we know what our standard is. And our field goal unit, D-letters, have been a great strength for us in Atlanta Falcons since I've been here in 21, and it still is. So it's just cleaning up some details, cleaning up his line, where he wants to be with his kick, his approach, his stance. Those little things add to big results. You know, Koo is a phenomenal football player. Now, I'm not just saying kicker. He's a phenomenal football player. He has the right mindset to get things done at a high level. And sometimes you have an off day. No different, you know, Coach Moore's referenced Stephen Curry. There's days where Stephen Curry has an off day. But shooters shoot, and then you shoot until you get hot, and then when you're hot, you keep shooting. So there's going to be a hot streak coming up for Koo, and I'm excited to continue to work for him. But it's always about whether you're talking about a quarterback, you're talking about running backs, O-line, specialists, DBs, is being consistent with your fundamentals and your technique, and that's a great challenge. And Koo understands, too. He's still being process-driven, always process-driven, and that one day, you know, doesn't define his career and what he's about. And also, too, it doesn't stop him from getting better. You either look at things in life or, you know, as a blessing or a lesson, or it could be both. And those situations kind of help players like Koo and other players in our building to help them develop and get better and have that growth mindset that we talk about all the time.
Goes to a kicker, Coach. I mean, obviously, you know, the fundamentals are one thing and the technique is one thing, but there's also a level of confidence, right? And
yes, sir.
Consistency. And as a coach, how much does that factor into like your messaging when you talk to a guy like Koo?
Oh, it's critical. It's all about knowing the individual, Mark. When you're coaching any position, or even when you're just talking about right now, an example for talking about our kicker, talking about Koo. It's all about getting to know the person. It's my job as an individual and as a leader to get to know our players and how they tick and what makes them operate, what's their why, and then to be able to coach accordingly off that. When to say something, when to be hard on them, when to give them, you know, be demanding without being demeaning. All those things come into play. And I have a great relationship with Koo. I understand what makes him tick, how he operates, and I understand that he's his biggest critic out of anybody when it comes to how he operates. The thing that was really frustrating for him was he let the team down. You know, he said that the other day. That was on him. Yeah. It's on us as a special teams unit to make sure that we're good to go and make sure that Koo is operating at a high level. So I put that blame on myself, like when it comes to those things. Like I know Koo's gonna blame it, and I appreciate him being a man of integrity and having ownership. But that's my job to make sure that he's always locked in and ready for that next opportunity, which he was in that fourth quarter. He was always ready for the next opportunity, and he's done a phenomenal job of having that next down mentality, having a short-term memory when it comes to what he does, because there is a huge mental game when it comes to playing that position, as it is to all positions, Mark. But when you're at that position, you get one play to put the ball through the uprights, put points on the board. You don't get a second down. You don't know when that next kick's going to be. So that's a tough pill to swallow, knowing that like you have that last kick, and then that's the last one of that game. You don't know when your next one comes. When you're going to a football game, Mark, you're guaranteed a kickoff and a kickoff return. You don't know how many field goals. You may get 1, you may get 7. But you got to maximize those reps and do the best that you could do when it comes to doing your job. And I know that obviously Koo said that. I mean, we know that's not the standard at what we do and how we go about stuff. And it's a privilege to coach them.
As part of you hope that, you know, first quarter, low pressure situation, 29-yard field goal just comes up, you know, right away, get it off his chest.
It doesn't matter if it's 29 yards or if it's 59 yards. It's an opportunity to go out there and put points on the board for our team. Not just for Koo, but for our team. And that's the mindset he has. It's not about him, it's about us. And that's what I love about him. That's what we all love about him. And that's why, you know, I'm 120% supportive of him and how he goes about his business. I'm just eager for him to get an opportunity whenever that may be. It may be in the first quarter, it may be in the fourth quarter in the game. They hit a game-winning field goal. But it's an opportunity to go out there and help our team.
Since you know him so well, at what point do you take an active role in being like, what's going on?
I'm always active, Taryn, with whether he makes a field goal or he misses a field goal, whether he has a bad day from something that happens off the field or if he's having a great day. I'm continually active in his career, in his life, and who he is as a person. It's not superficial when it comes to the relationships that I have with our players. So I'm continuing, I'm always active. It doesn't matter about the results. It's all about his process. If something's messed up with his process or if there's ways we can improve his process, I'm 120% involved in that. And that's what all of our players when it comes to that. We don't just sit back and wait until something happens, then be like, oh, let's be reactive. It's all about being proactive with everything that we do to help our players out day in and day out.
And, we can't see the finer points of the operation. Did y'all look at that part? I know y'all do every week, but is the operation sound from the snap to the hold to the kick?
Yes, our operations, Liam and Bradley have been doing a phenomenal job, and those things are very underrated when it comes to operation. Can we always get better at operation? There's always room for improvement, whether like, hey, you want the snap over the spot, you don't want a little bit inside, you don't want a little bit outside. Those are always things we can improve on. How clean can we catch the ball? Is it exactly on the spot? Is the lean exactly perfect? Mm-hmm. That play is really hard to execute when you talk about that, but you only get better at reps. The operation's been good, and again, at the end of the day, it's our job to put the ball through the uprights. So we evaluate our operation no different than when we hit the game-winning field goal the first time we played the Saints. We evaluate that whole thing. There's always room for improvement, whether you talk about operation, our protection D-led, or our contact on the football, which I've been very excited about because Ku's been having great contact on the ball, which is, and then it's just a little bit, sometimes the ball just goes a different way. And we got to live with those and make sure we can learn from those lessons and learn from those situations and don't hinder us and don't let that limit us from getting better and improving, because we're going on a run right now. We have 7 guaranteed games, and we're going to play the best. We have 7 games left. Guaranteed 7 games left. And our job is to play the best 7 games that we can, so we get on this playoff run.
Is it my imagination, or teams kicking off to you more often, giving you more opportunities to return the ball?
It just varies. Going into some games, we know based on touchback percentages, that's what we look at, touchback percentages based on certain teams that we're playing. If they're a high touchback percentage, you may get 1 or 2. With this new rule too, Josh, you'll get opportunities where you can see how they're aligned and what type of block you're going to get based on the kickoff. So you may not cover the first one because you want to see how they're aligned and then cover the second one. But it depends on each team. I don't think that we're getting more coverable kicks. We went on a little streak where teams are like covering a little bit more. Like going against the Saints, they cover the most kicks in the NFL when you play against the Saints. And, part of that too, like we played against Fossil, and they cover a lot of kicks as well. This week, we'll see. I mean, they've shown a high percentage at certain places, indoor, outdoor. They've shown lower percentages of touchbacks at certain situations. Or also, too, it depends on how's the injuries on you have your first cover team out there? Do you not have your first cover team out there? Do you like your matchups versus their return team? So it varies. Going into games, we assume that every ball that's kicked to us, we're going to return. Vice versa, Josh, we assume every ball that we kick is going to be returned. Having that mindset to stay ready so we don't have to get ready. And then going from there, it's up to us to have 11 playmakers on the field, returner included, plus our blockers, and make sure we bring that call to life. I was excited. We got a decent return versus them. I think we got the ball to like 37, 38-yard line, but we missed out on some ops with some single blocks that we had on some previous returns in this last game. So it's cleaning that up, all 11 guys doing their job, no different than the run game. It's a big-ass run play. Excuse my language. It's a big run play. But that's why I tell the guys in the room, just coaching those guys, it's a big run play, and we look at trying to bring that call to life. And it's a long play, so making sure that we get hats to the ball, we make sure we're blocking play side number, and we're getting vertical with the football.
Is Grant here as a returner, or I know he's done both in his past?
I mean,
practice squad.
Yeah, he's on practice squad. Obviously, he wasn't here. left. He wasn't healthy. He got healthy. Now he's back in the building. We loved what he was about as he was here during training camp. It's a good opportunity. It's a good opportunity to get eyes on him and get him rolling and get him back in football shape. But the 16 guys that we have on 17 guys we have on practice squad, we're always looking to evaluate. As you can see throughout the weeks, Natron Brooks, practice squad guy, helped us on special teams. Dan Cruikshank earlier in the season helped us on special teams. Damone Harris, a guy that helped us on defense and a little bit on special teams. We're always looking to maximize and how can we use the 53 guys we have on our active roster plus those 17 guys we have on the practice squad and maximize any opportunity to help us win and put the best 48 on the field come game day.
So Raheem told us yesterday that you had what he referred to as a visual presentation for players for the defense, and he would not tell us what it was because he didn't want to steal your thunder.
Oh.
So can you please discuss what
Oh,
for
jeez.
the players? Yeah, and I heard there was something today as well.
Yeah. So I mean, this is a a weekly thing, or periodically throughout a season, or even in the off season. I mean, you always want to change it up and try to liven the guys up and try to share a message that you're trying to relay across to the players. And so like to have fun with it, but at the same time there's also a message behind it. And so every single week it's always a little bit different here and there. And so I didn't know that this was going to be such a big deal, but no, it's but every single week, I mean, it's always fun. I think the guys don't know what's going to show up on the video every once in a while. We're even later, basically the middle of the season, but a little bit, further on, and you got to keep things fresh and keep things moving. And so you always just want to try to share that message in a different way, and that's all we were trying to do.
So you're showing them quick knockouts in combat sports, correct?
That was one of them. There's some other things. Yes, that was one of them.
What are some of the fights you showed them? There's a lot of stuff that I was showing them that weren't necessarily just combat sports. Those other things as well, but really just the message, just the mentality of starting fast, finishing fast, and not that we haven't been doing that, but just trying to take it to the next level. And really, if you go back to our just this last game, we ended up a long drive. We stop them on fourth down, but there was a lot of clock eaten up. There was a lot of plays that we know we should have made. We should have executed better, and we could have been off the grass a lot earlier, which we obviously did throughout the rest of the game. And really, that was really the message, was like, hey, that was a great stop, but also there was a lot of clock taken off in that first opening drive, and we know we could have executed at a higher level to get off the grass sooner. Jesse said that today there was some Mike Tyson clips
Yep.
this morning. Just
Wow, we got all the information here. I didn't know. Okay.
Well, we're journalists.
Yeah, I like it.
No, I was a fight reporter.
Oh, okay.
11 years.
Okay. Yeah, you know it way more than me. I am a fight fan, though, and I think there's a lot of correlation between combat sports and our sport, a number of things. And what I'm showing, obviously, is the starting fast and bringing the aggression, but there's also the resiliency factor. I mean, I've shown fights earlier in the year. One of the most incredible fights I've seen was, the names are escaping right now, 2005 fight. And he won in the 10th round. It looks like he was going to lose, and he battled back. But just to show the resiliency and the toughness. Who was it?
It's a boxing match?
It was a boxing match, 2005. Chavez and – nope, it wasn't that one. It wasn't that one. Shoot, I wish I had it right here in front of me. He actually unfortunately passed away a few years ago in a car accident, but I don't know if that jogs your memory at all. But it was an incredible fight. But anyway – there's a lot of sports that you can show that just it relays a message, and the more those guys can see that, maybe stuff that's outside of football, even outside of sports, and they can relate to, I think it's a powerful message.
So Jesse was saying there was like the Jorge Masvidal knockout, like in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
What's kind of the message that you're trying to get across when you show something like that to those guys?
So again, it's just it's about starting fast and bringing the aggression, but also finishing fast as well. So it's not just the beginning. It's not like the first quarter, the first play. It's really the totality of the event. And obviously in mixed martial arts or boxing, that's a different set a time and all that. Ours is a lot longer. It's 3 hours long and 4 quarters and all that. And so, but I think there is a message behind it, and that was the whole point, was to share a different perspective, and hopefully they got something out of it.
If you've been doing this all season, do you know why Raheem would bring this instance up specifically?
I don't. You'd have to ask Raheem that one. No, I don't. Yeah.
Remember something that you wondered if it was going to strike a chord, and it did or didn't? And you talk about these little clips that I imagine you put some thought into.
Right.
What's going to hit the right tone? Do you remember one you were thinking, I don't know, but it was a big success, or anything that?
No.
That didn't hit like I wanted it to.
No, not really. No, not at all. I think whenever I think if it's at the right time and you're showing something at the right time, usually guys will gravitate towards that. We've all learned this from coaches that we've been around, that I've been coached by. One of the best to ever do it was John Gruden. John Gruden did it at a high level when I worked for him. He would bring in these amazing clips, and he'd have a message and show it to the guys, and you could see how the guys would buy into it, and then you all got to really see it when he would do his Monday Night Football exposés. When he was the lead announcer for Monday Night Football, he did an incredible job of opening up those Monday Night Football broadcasts with different clips from different things, but he had a whole message behind it, and so it's just a way to relate to the players and show them something. No different than maybe your history teacher or your favorite teacher in high school. All of a sudden, he had this awesome presentation, and you might still remember it to this day. And that's really what we are. We're football teachers, and if we can create a way to send a message to the guys, and they can gravitate towards it and buy in, and we can get something out of it, the better.
Did you do this week 1? And if so, what was the message then?
Oh boy. Week 1 feels like it was 2021. I probably did, but I'm really sorry I can't recall right now. Yeah.
Are there any of the non-sport ones that you've done?
The non-sport ones. Again, my mind right now is on the Denver Broncos. I apologize. And my mind is on the presentations from this week. But I have had a number of non-football ones that oh, okay. Nope. Here we go. I just remembered one of them. One was about Steve Jobs, and how he continued to grow and develop the iPhone, and actually brought in the original iPhone. And everybody looked at it like, "Oh my gosh, what is this thing? This thing looks like an artifact." And long story short, the whole point of it was we always have to continue to grow and develop. And if Steve Jobs would have stopped with the original iPhone, another company probably would have passed him by and made better technology. But then I brought out the latest and greatest iPhone and compared it to the original, and you could see that the updated later version is better than the original version. And so even though that first one was an amazing creation, you have to continue to grow and develop. And so with our players, we have very talented players, but they can't stop growing and developing. We have players that are all pros, first team all pro, all that. Well, it doesn't matter. You have to continue to get better. You have to continue to update. You have to continue to grow, continue to develop. And that was the message.
It was Castillo and Corrales.
That was it. Wow, nicely done. Incredible. That's one of my favorite fights of all time. And I think I've showed that fight every year I've coached since probably 2007. I've had the right time to show it, and I showed that weeks ago. But that was an incredible fight and an incredible showing of resiliency and battling back when the chips are down.
Was there anything this week that you showed the guys that you were most excited about? Like I think this one is really going to get my point across.
I've shown a bunch, and there's more coming tomorrow, and more coming the next day, and other stuff too.
Okay.
Yeah.
McGregor in there? Conor McGregor?
He was already shown. Yep. Yep.
13-second knockout.
It was.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was there.
You were there.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. That's awesome.
I was
Yeah.
with all knockouts.
Oh, you were? Wow. Those were incredible fights, and there's some awesome fights this weekend. Obviously, we got Mike Tyson himself on Friday night. Jake Paul. We talked about that in the room today, and then also we got John Jones on Saturday night.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I would have been there. But then I changed up.
Oh,
in April.
yeah.
Yeah, Coach. How is Jessie playing for you guys? 9 games in, he's going back to Denver. I'm sure they'll try to.
Justin, you talking about? You said?
Justin, sorry.
Yep, that's okay.
How's he? I'm looking at these ranking things. I'll put a lot of stock in them, but I just want to ask you how he's playing and how y'all gonna try to deal with, not getting too hyped on the homecoming type of deal.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, Justin played some high-level ball for Denver for a number of years, and I think naturally, I'm not speaking for him, I would think naturally there's going to be the team that drafted him, and he's been there for so long. I know he probably knows the equipment guys, the trainers, and some of the players that are still there. There's going to be an emotional thing that they're going on. But Justin is a professional, and I know he's preparing, just like he's preparing for every other game that he's played in this year. And he wants to play well in every single game, and just like this game that he's going to play on Sunday.
You said that he has no bad blood and
Yeah.
nothing but love for the organization, but like for you as a defense, do you feel like that extra motivation to like get hit in that win a little bit?
Again, I would love to get that win. Obviously, we all want that win, but that's not really our motivation. Our motivation is to win every single game that we're signed up for, and this happens to be game 11. And but of course, for me personally, to him, I would want him to play well and walk out of there with a win. But I know team-wide, this is game 11, and we want to win this game, no matter if Justin was here or not.
Kirk Cousins mentioned Kaden Ellis' sort of role as a in-game hype man for him, and I think for everybody else. Is it important to have a guy like that on your unit? Just kind of in people's ear all the time?
Yeah, I think we have a number of leaders on our team, on both sides of the ball and on special teams. And yeah, for sure. Us as coaches, there's only so much we can do. As soon as you cross those white lines, those players need to lead the way, in which they've done at a high level. And so, yes, to answer your question, we need those leaders out there to say things at the right time and also get guys fired up at the right time.
Where does Kaden rank among guys you've coached in terms of just how vocal he is in that regard on game days?
Yeah, very high. He ranks very high. First of all, his command and his leadership of the defense, for one. And then after that, his play style, sideline to sideline, in coverage, rushing, playmaking ability, his emotion that he brings spreads through the whole team.
From week 1 to now, when you look at the film of Bo Nix, how has he grown the most?
Yeah, first of all, I'll say Sean Payton's done an incredible job. I have a ton of respect for Sean Payton. Gone against Sean Payton for years, back when I was with the Buccaneers, and he was the head coach calling the plays, and obviously did a fantastic job with Drew Brees, who's Hall of Famer, or about to be on. Is he already in? Or yeah, I know he's going to be. Not yet. Whenever that day is coming, he's in. One of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play. And so now going back to Bo Nix, you can see the progression, and Sean's done an amazing job with him. You could see the talent that Bo had in college. He's fast, he's smart, he's accurate, he gets rid of the ball, and I think that's what Sean's done a really good job of is creating an offense where he's able to deliver the ball quickly, see a read, get rid of it, or use his legs and run for some yards, which he's one of the best guys that we have faced through 11 weeks in terms of being able to move the chains with his legs. And so I've seen a progression. You see the confidence building, and he is going to be something to deal with on Sunday.
Hey, Jesse, when you look at the Broncos and the rookie quarterback, what have they been able to do successfully? I guess they're running some of the college RPO stuff,
Yep.
but still got some.
Still some of his, like you said, some RPO concepts, more college, type of a run game, where he can pull it. He has the option to pull it. He's more, of an athletic quarterback that I think that he gets, the credit for. I think he could extend plays like some of these more dynamic type of quarterbacks. I think Sean Payton has done a really good job of just fitting, the offense into, what he's used to. And like I said, the RPOs, and then, getting him outside the pocket and helping him out to be successful. So, yeah.
They listed as an Eric Coryell offense, but how does that blend in? Do you still see the remnants of the old
Yeah,
Coryell stuff?
yeah, a little bit. You could kind of, like I said, you can see, Sean Payton's been in this league for a very long time, and you can kind of see some of the similarities as far as like managing a game. Like I said, helping his quarterback out so he doesn't make mistakes. So yeah, Sean, I think he's probably gonna be a Hall of Fame type of coach. So he's done a really good job of putting his guy in a position to be successful.
When you're going against a rookie quarterback, you don't have that much film, even though he's played, 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
Is it harder to prepare for something like that, just to go off the little film that you have versus when you play someone who's played for 5 years and you have tendencies and you have a lot of film?
Yeah, I mean, 10 games usually that's enough film to really see, a quarterback's strengths or weaknesses or what they like to do. But yeah, it's not multiple years where we can go back and watch what he does. But it's almost sometimes it's a good thing when you don't have that much. You're not overthinking. What this quarterback is capable of. We've been watching him in college for the past 5 or 6 years, however long it was. 10 years, yeah, whatever it is. He's not a rookie quarterback. It seems like he's a graduate student almost. So he's doing a good job, like I said, of running their offense at a high level.
Then playing in Denver with the thin air and everything, what is that like?
Yeah, I played there probably like 4 years ago, and I felt it in the pregame warm up a little bit, and then you don't really think about it throughout the game. But our strength and conditioning guys, our nutrition guys have done a really good job of preparing us. Taking some iron pills with some vitamins. Getting our diet together throughout the week just so we can be prepared to go out there and be successful on Sunday. So shout out to those guys.
See, I guess Raheem was saying that yesterday Jimmy Lake kind of gave you guys a presentation, but maybe starting faster.
Mm-hmm.
What was that and what kind of effect did that have on y'all?
Yeah, we've been watching, you a UFC guy, so we've been watching some UFC, start out fast. I think Masvidal was the first one, his fight, when he knocked the dude out with the flying knee in like 10 seconds. So just giving us examples to kind of get us going earlier. Because, second half isn't our problem, I think. It's when we're first coming out, being able to start fast and establish ourselves, earlier in the game.
What is that, would you say? Because you guys have been a really good second half defense. You made all the adjustments, but what goes into just starting off faster?
Yeah, I just think that it's natural. It's natural for you to walk into a game and be like, all right, I'm gonna fill these first couple plays out. But we can't have that mindset anymore. It's week 10. The stuff isn't changing. Defensive calls aren't changing too much. We just got to line up and execute at a high level. And like I said, it's a natural thing, for you to go out there and like, all right, let me line up. But instead, just have a little bit more urgency at the first snap. I think that's what that looks like. So, yeah.
When Jimmy showed the Masvidal clip, how did the room react?
Yeah, he showed multiple. Today was Mike Tyson day. So we seen some Mike Tyson knockouts, in the first round, which was multiple. So just having that attack mindset coming out, I think, will be our goal. And, go take over this game before our bye week.
How has the continuity been with Justin now, being in 10 games, heading to Denver? What is that continuity like now from it was?
Yeah, it's always good to have him, back there with me. I think we missed that one game with him. And just having him, on the sideline, he's seen a lot of ball, smart dude. It's just easy to bounce off of him, and just having that trust instinct, I think that chemistry instinct that we both have, it makes me feel comfortable. I'm sure it makes guys around him comfortable as well, but I can't say enough about his presence and his leadership role that he's, brought onto our team.
Has he given you all any tips on how to play Denver? And not necessarily just the team itself, but just being in that environment.
Yeah, he was with Sean, I think, last year for a year, so he's got some, some keys that I can't say, but I'm sure he's got a lot of respect and he's excited to go home He calls that home still to this day. So him going back to Denver, Rod joked around and said they shipped him out of there. So I'm sure he'll be excited, and I'll be there right next to him and trying to get him going and, having fun, going to get us a win in his so-called hometown now. So, yeah.
You mentioned player performance in that team. I'm curious, have you ever had 2 walkthrough Wednesdays back-to-back in your career, and how has that helped in terms of that?
Yeah, we've throughout my career, usually later on in the season, we've had some injuries on our team, coming up here late in the season. So it's just another way for us to go out there and practice more of a mental day instead of it being so physical. Take some reps off our bodies, and just having that understanding of if you continue to practice at this high level and understand how we're going to practice on Wednesdays, you can keep getting these Wednesdays as a walkthrough. But also, with our strength staff, they stay on us, make sure we're still getting our cardio in on that Wednesday. So, I think it's huge. Some guys like Kurt don't need to go out there and do 5-step drops on Wednesdays or anything like that. He can get the mental part of it, our installs, and be good and ready to go for today. Because Thursdays, that's our full padded practice day, and we get after it. So when it's time to go, I feel like our team has a really good understanding of it's time to go. So even when we're doing a walkthrough, it's still time to go, but more of a mental type of focus.
Also, in what ways have you seen AJ take steps in terms of his film preparation? He said he learned a lot from you.
Yeah, Tufo, was one of the reasons that I'm here. He's been one of my best friends since I got here, and just seeing his confidence continue to grow, week in and week out. I think last year, Coach Nielsen, he told AJ, I need you to press every single play. And, usually when you're pressed, you don't see much. You just see a guy that you're covering in front of, and AJ starting to understand the whole, scheme of the defense, and being able to play off, I think, helps him digest a little bit more rather than just being a press corner, which leads to some interceptions, more interception ops, and things like that. So yeah, AJ is continue to grow. He's one of our leaders on this team, and pretty sure he'll be a for lifer here as well for great reason. So excited to continue to build with him, and I know who AJ is as a person and as a player, and it's good to see.
Coach Jerry was saying last week that he's seen AJ's confidence grow.
Mm-hmm.
Especially that's kind of been one of the biggest things, is being more confident, being more himself. Have you seen that as well?
Yeah, I think anytime that you can, Mr. Blank, our great owner, gave AJ a new contract. Well, didn't give it; he earned it, and that, I'm sure that itself alone, puts AJ at peace of mind a little bit to go out there and not be so fearful of making mistakes, and just going out there and play free, play fast, and he's done that. Whether it's going to tackle, a running back off the edge, or if he's just following somebody around the whole game. So you don't find guys like that just sitting around that can do both. So AJ's special for sure.
Actually, it's not necessarily about the game, but talking to AJ a couple weeks ago, we were talking about positions in the NFL. I just want your opinion. What position you think is the most conditioned?
That's tough. I have to say the nickel. The nickel position is a tough job. You usually have to communicate. It's almost like a safety of a defense, but they're doing more of the matching guys, covering more, and then they got to go reset and go do it again. And then in this league, a lot of teams aren't in these 12 personnel, 13 personnel looks. It's more 11. So the nickels are out there on the field multiple times, and they have to fit the run. They got play pass. So I think the nickel is definitely, they got a good argument for the most conditioning guy on the field.
Anything else?
I assume you're picking Mike Tyson to be Jake Paul tomorrow night.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I am. We'll see.
You guys get there and watch it?
Yeah, we've had discussions about it.
Crash out.
Some guys were surprised that they were even fighting still. So, yeah, we got some big fights this week. We got John Jones Saturday night. So, yeah, going to be a fight on Sunday too. So we're excited.
How many games have you played against a brother?
This will be the second.
Oh, only the second. I figured. Even going back to.
I played with them,
Okay.
but against. So the second.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Justin said that your dad was his team chaplain when he was a rookie.
Yeah, over in Denver. My dad was with the Broncos for I think 3 years there. They won a Super Bowl, so I got to be at that Super Bowl game. That was fun. And yeah, so Jay Sim came over. He made the connection pretty quick, and it was pretty cool that they remembered each other and know each other pretty well.
Okay, Josh, you was talking.
Oh, I just wondered what are the emotions like? Are they any different? I mean, was this circled on your calendar, or is this?
Oh, it's been circled. Yeah, it's just. I mean, you could talk about have some bragging rights for the year and different things like that, but really it's just kind of especially big brother, moment of pride. Getting to go out and see what my little brother's done, and get to go compete against him on the field. Obviously, we both play defense, but we may find a way to sneak into a special teams matchup or something. At the end of the day, it's just I'm so excited to go out and see him on the field, and you just see this little boy that grew up and all the work he's put in, and now he's an NFL stud. So I'm just excited.
Sean said you texted him after they took Jonah. What did you say to him?
Gist of it was you got a good one. You know what I mean? Other things you said, but it is what it is. And gist of it was that you got a good one. And I'm just so excited that he's in Denver and with Sean and good staff over there. We got family out west, and he's in a really good spot.
Did you talk to Sean at all about the pick about Jonah beforehand, or because he knew you, he sort of knew Jonah?
No, only afterwards. Yeah.
Okay.
Did Raheem say that they wanted him, but they took him before they were able to get to him? Did you talk to them at all?
A little bit. I gave him a hard time. Got to give him and Terry a little bit of a hard time. But at the end of the day, it was God's plan. God's got a bigger plan. Took him and his family in Denver, and that's what's coming. So I'm excited to play this week.
Your parents have split jerseys or anything like that?
We'll see what they come out of. My dad played for Denver too. My dad was from Colorado, so there may be a little more blue and orange this week than red and black. But I'll get a few of them out there in some red this week.
How many family members all total will be there? Do you know?
Between family and friends, I think we got section 35 people.
Yeah.
So it'll be a crew. It'll be exciting to see a few of them before, a lot of them afterwards, and they'll be cheering on.
Other than good genes, what do you attribute all these brothers play and your dad played?
First God, just really awesome. My mom and dad really instilled in us faith at an early age, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Having that faith in me, I think it's really propelled us first off, and secondly, pray for God to send rain, but you better get your field ready for the rain. You know what I mean? So obviously, you've heard that metaphor before. At the end of the day, a lot of us worked really hard to get to where we're at, and it's really cool. My dad, he was able to obviously guide our work. Not only working hard, but also working smart, showing us where we needed to improve, what we needed to do. We wanted to make that step. So, God won, my dad, and hard work 2 and 3.
I'm imagining a backyard that's lined off in yards markers and has tackling dummies out there. I mean, how close am I to reality?
Yeah, you're pretty close. Yeah, honestly, we're the type, I'm all for, you got to play multiple sports. You can't just be one. We make up games. We play every game under the sun, every sport, kind of depend. We, have different seasons of doing different things. And, sometimes it was football. Sometimes it was soccer or random games we make up. So at the end of the day, we just played hard all together.
Best overall athlete, if we came up with some sort of, whether it's through the decathlon or we did a round robin of a bunch of things, who's the best overall athlete?
Me. That was probably probably one of the girls. My wife's an athlete. My sister Olivia, she's a good athlete. She just didn't really want to chase it that much, but she's natural at everything. My mom, college summer, we'll give it to one of the girls. Keep tempers cool.
Okay. So what is Thanksgiving like? What do you anticipate it's going to be like this Thanksgiving? That you all going to be there talking about football, competing or whatever y'all compete about?
It'll be fun. Wish obviously during Thanksgiving we'd all get to be together. We won't. It's all right. But there'll be a lot of football going around that week.
How much have you and Jonah talked this year as he sort of gets used to this whole thing?
A good little chunk. We got a little group message. Me and my brother Christian, we're all on teams right now, and we'll send things back and forth. We got a football group chat with my dad. We'll send stuff all the time, and sometimes I'll call Jonah, and my dad will be on the phone. They'll link the call, and we'll just chat. So we talk quite a bit. Obviously, he's got questions. He knows he's got people around that he can go to. he's also just mature beyond his years, and he's handling this thing well. So.
Susan, this is the second time you've played a family member. What is your record against the family?
1-0. We're gonna make that 2-0 this week.